everybody, and this is Auntie. And I am so happy to be here today. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you so much for being here and for joining the family. To all of my lifers, all of my nieces and nephews who have been with the family, thank you so much for your continued support of my channel. Thank you so much for loving me the way that you do. And I want to say a special welcome to Molly. Molly, welcome to Auntie's Advice. It is so glad to know that you are here. In the future, when you use something that someone is saying, please make sure that you give them credit for it, because I'm the one who's been doing the reviews and saying, Molly girl, you're in danger. So the least that you can do on your Instagram is give me credit. But it's okay. I got it for myself. So anyway, what a coinky dinky. Things absolutely happen for a reason, because today I have decided to come live and in living color to talk about Molly's story. How to avoid these kind of pitfalls from happening in your own everyday life. To all the women who are out there making it happen on your own, I celebrate you today, and I say congratulations, my sister. Continue to be the best mom that you can be to your children, and to all of my single dads who are out there, thank you so much for stepping up to the plate and for breaking barriers where people say that dads don't take care of their children, or that they're not, they're deadbeat and stuff like that. Thank you so much for stepping up to the plate and taking care of your children, and for making sure that they're okay and that they're nurtured. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead on and get into this. What I wanted to do today was just kind of talk about Molly's story. I saw on, someone gave me Molly's Instagram address, and I kind of went out there and saw a couple of things that Molly had said, and I want to get those things out of the way before I go into Molly's story. First of all, Molly, nobody's a hater. Nobody hates you. Nobody wants to be you. Nobody wants to be in your shoes, at least not the shoes that we have seen on 90 Day Fiancé. I don't know if a lot of what has happened in your life or what we saw on TLC was scripted or anything like that, but let me tell you something, boo. Coming from here, and this is coming directly from Auntie, I ain't a hater, boo. I celebrate women. I celebrate their accomplishments and all the things that they are, and I know all the things that they can be. In the same breath, what I would like to say is the things that you have heard come out of my mouth and the things that you're going to hear coming out of my mouth. And to all of Molly's friends who are out here, you make sure you relay the message back to her that I am sending to her. I'm not a hater of someone who would go to the DR, pick a man that is almost half their age, bring them into their home, take care of them like a baby, deceive a production company, and tell them later on in the episode, and your daughter, that you are married to someone, and here it is on the 87th, 86th, 85th, let's say 88th, 89th day that now you want him out of your house. Who in their right mind would play a hate on your ass? Zero people. Okay, so don't go there on your Instagram page. And if you like, you could always hit that subscribe button, hit that blue bell, so that every time I talk about you in the future, you will be sure to get it. Oh, and also make sure to comment down in the comment section. I so would love to see your comments and hear your feedback. Let me put my glasses on and hi everybody. Okay, so I'm going to take them back out. I didn't have an opportunity to tell Sarah that I was going live, and so I'm hoping that she is out here. If she's not and you all see a troll on there, just go right on ahead and report them, block them if you can, and I will come back and delete them. Okay, so anyway, Molly, I'm sorry, girl. I got a phone call. I'm coming back to you now. Nobody is hating on you. What we see and the behavior that we have seen from you has been like your father said. It's been childlike behavior. I don't see how you can turn it around in your mind and to think that myself or any of my nieces or nephews here out on this channel would ever play hate on your fat ass, your fat, immature, mistake-making ass. And so I just had to get that out. Or Nicole. Nobody's playing hating on any one of you all. Frankly, we want to see you do better with your life. And if I can affect and change the mind of one woman out here based on your mistakes, then my job in this video has served its purpose. But I'm telling you, don't come for me, Molly. Don't make innuendos. Don't make shady comments. Don't go there. Because all I'm doing is reviewing what you put on the screen. So when you want to come for somebody, you need to come for somebody else. I ain't the one. And I'm telling you that right now. And it's not a threat. Not at all. It's just a statement of facts. See, why I celebrate the businesswoman you are, Molly. And I do celebrate the businesswoman you are. I think that you have a wonderful shop that caters to the needs of women. And anytime we as women uplift and can celebrate and support one another, it's a fantastic thing. It is marvelous in my sight and marvelous in God's sight. However, there are some women who are out here who frequent my channel that I need to make sure that they know and that they learn from your mistakes so that they too don't find themselves in the same situation that you found yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through your story, Molly, and I'm going to try to help the women and the men who are on my channel. See, I don't have a censor or a buffer or anybody telling me what to say, how to be, how to look. So you ready for this ride, Molly? Sit back. Matter of fact, you and Louise go get a drink, since that's what you say he likes to do. Go and get a drink so I can school your asses on a couple of things. So we look at Molly's story and we see Molly basically elated that she has met this 26-year-old man on a girls' trip to the Dominic of Republic. She has two children. She has one that's 17, and I believe Kinsley is like somewhere between 6 and 8. She is a small business owner and she is growing her brand. She has a home and vehicles and appears to have the life that a lot of women would like to live. She goes over to the DR, and after probably drinking all night and partying, she says that the crowd faded, and then there was Luis the Bartender. Someone who is not economically on her level. A lot of women, we date men who are not economically on our level for multiple reasons. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that if that is how you choose to live your life. However, what I am saying is that women, we cannot settle for a man who looks good and says the right things, smells good, but yet he is not on our economic level, because we will find ourselves putting on the Adam persona in the relationship, feeling as though we have the authority and the right to run things, because after all, we are the quote unquote breadwinner. So that is one thing that I want you all to know. When you as a woman decide to date a man, or a man who decides to date a woman, and you are looking for a life partner, I would suggest that you find someone who is mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially your equal. And if you can't find someone who is your equal in all of those areas, that you need to make sure that spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically they are your equal. Because money and sex are two of the main reasons why relationships break up. When you are a single woman and you are coming into a relationship with a man, number one, you are most of the time the custodial parent, or a man. If you're the custodial parent, your finances are not your own. It's not like you can go out and buy the cutest Christian Louboutins, and it's not like, you can take your money and spend it the way that you probably did before you had children. When we bring children in the world, they take precedence over everything else in our lives. At the end of the day, when I decided to have my daughter at a late age, my responsibilities then shifted from my needs and my wants to the needs and the wants of my child. In the very beginning, everything was shifted towards her wants, because when a child is first born, that's all they have is, needs. When a child is first born, all they have is need. They have a need for love. They have a need for nurturing. They have a need for milk. They have a need for security. They have a need for diapers. They have a need for onesies. They have a need for washcloths. They have a need for all of that stuff. Everything that child has is a need. It is a necessity. And so when you are a custodial parent and you may or may not have support, your income at that time is basically taking care of the needs of you and your child. And so when you decide to bring someone else in your life, you need to bring someone into your life who supports your, not only your needs but the needs of your child. It needs to be very clear in the beginning that I have a child, and although I financially support my child right now, I want, because, a significant other isn't always a need. Now, for some women, they need to have a man, and for some men, they need to have a woman. But that is not a need, because at the end of the day, if you don't have it, you still can breathe, and you still can live, and you still can do all the things that you need to do. Now, so here we have Molly. Molly has financially no needs. She doesn't have anything that is going to prevent her from being an entrepreneur. She doesn't need a man to support her and her children. So everything outside of that is a want or a luxury. So when she saw the broke down bartender, he was a want. He was something that she wanted. Icing on her cake. He wasn't even icing. I take that back. He was sprinkles on her cake. Because after all, she had it all. She had it all. So when she saw the broke down bartender, what he did, allegedly, was met that place in her life that she felt was lacking. And let me tell you why I say that. Because Molly has said repeatedly, over and over and over again, that I've taken care of my children. Now it's time to take care of me, my needs. So she had already met the requirements for her kids, but for her, she felt like, I gotta take care of me. And in taking care of me, and doing what I need to do for me, that does not include the needs and requirements of my children. So I won't second guess bringing the broke down bartender into my home, because I have done this on my own. Now, according to Molly, Olivia and Kinsley both have two different daddies. That ain't none of my business. She said that the first relationship, they broke up, and the second relationship that she was in, it just wasn't gonna work out. There were some things that just could not be worked out. That ain't none of my business either. At the end of the day, the children are here. And so Molly has felt like she's gone without. That her needs and her wants have not been met by the opposite sex. Now, I don't know whether or not that was her sexual needs, her emotional needs, her spiritual needs. I don't know what that was. But we have sat here and watched it play out. So she decides that I'm going to go back to the DR several times. And in a 2-month span, Luis, the love of her life, the broke down bartender, he's coming back home. In her confessional, with the blue shirt on, the pretty blue blouse on, you know what I'm saying? She says, when I saw him, he was like a bronze goddess. God. I'm sorry. And I had to marry him quickly. I wanted him quickly. Why? What's the rush? So, in return, this man knows that this American woman who is successful, because I'm sure she probably let him know what she had. He said, I gotta marry her quickly too. She says when she came back into the United States that she made a decision to research how to get a man from the DR to the United States and marry him. Now, never one time did I hear her say that I met a man in the DR I recognized as a single woman and as a single mom that I needed to vet this man through my children, that I needed to make sure that this man and my life fit together. Although there's going to be bumpy roads, because there's bumpy roads in every relationship, but I never heard her say, I need to make sure that this is going to work out. Not one time. Instead, she came back, she made a decision that I got to do it quickly. Anything that comes quick, anything that you don't have to work for, let me tell you something, you better consider it twice. But we go on with the story. Let me take a pause right here to say these are my opinions. Everything that is on this that I am saying here is for educational purposes and my opinions. Okay. Having said that and got that out of the way, she brings this man over. She decides that, he's the one for me. She's Skyping with him. It seems like the children are a little familiar with her. Olivia, who is 17 years old, isn't feeling it at all. What teenager would consider or take into consideration the possibility of having a man that she has never physically met come into her home and live with her for 90 days and then marry her mom? Where the f they do that at? At Molly's house. And then Molly's got the nerve to say somebody's hating on her. Come now, Molly. So anyway, Molly makes a decision. They go to the airport. Prior to them going to the airport, she has a little makeup session with her daughter. The makeup session with her daughter was to discuss why Olivia was feeling some kind of way. See, she squirrels it in there. Olivia is telling her, this isn't the first time you've done this. See, Olivia was old enough to see Molly's relationship with Kinsley's dad. And see, the thing about children is that they don't miss anything. They're little sponges, and they pick up everything. So although it wasn't Olivia's intent to tell her mother's business, she spilled it nonetheless and said, this is not your first time putting me to the side for a man. Well, what do you mean by that, Olivia? Well, you were supposed to take me to New York and you didn't. And how many other things has our dear Molly put in front of her children since she's taking care of herself now? Olivia now has to readjust her mind. She has to adjust everything. She has to readjust her thinking. She has to try not to judge her mother. She has to try to continue to be a cheerleader for her mom, in spite of losing the game. She sees that everything is starting to go downhill very fast, and now you're asking and expecting a 17-year-old child to have the maturity to process something that you haven't processed yourself. The only thing that you know is that you've taken care of your children and now it's your turn. Let me tell you something. As long as you have children, it's never your turn. Yes, excuse me, we can have happiness, and we should have happiness as men and women. Nobody's taking away your opportunity to be happy. Nobody, everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants to be filled with a peace and with joy, and everybody wants to have companionship, someone to love, and someone to be loved by. Everybody wants that. So nobody is trying to deny you, but there are certain things that you are responsible for taking care of. See, here's the thing, Molly. At the end of the season, you then start putting your children first. But what you didn't do when you should have done it was put your children first in the beginning. And so this is why we see what we see out of you. This is why we see what we see out of Luis. And looking back at the episode and just really going through all the reels the way that I have, because I've studied the reels, Molly, so I know what I'm talking about. I could see when you actually married him. When you sat down at the table with him, the little beach hut table, it probably was maybe about, July 21st. And you sat there and you told Luis that you wanted him, that this was his last freedom. And you all were talking about the bachelorette party. His whole face, his whole persona was different. See, what happened was, I believe that this man really did have feelings for you. And I felt like maybe he really was, slightly in love with you, and the possibility of falling in love with you. But what person would not start having difficulties with falling in love with you when they're being rejected by everybody in your family, with the exception of your brother? But anyway, let me stay on point. When you sat at that table with him and you told him that his job, this was going to be his last day of freedom, and that his job was going to be to take care of the children while you ran around and did what you were going to do, the look on his face said, okay, that's what you think. He had already made a decision in his mind that his affection towards you was going to change. Women and men, let me tell you something. When you bring someone into your life and you have not vetted them out properly with your children, you're going to have some problems. Not everybody can make an adjustment overnight into parenthood. Hell, I couldn't do it, and I birthed my child. It takes a while to learn how to be a parent. It takes a while to learn how to embrace the responsibilities that come along with parenting. And that's from your biological children. How do you expect another person coming into your life, whether they have children or not, to be able to adjust to such a huge responsibility? It's hard. And the thing about parenting and motherhood, because I can speak from motherhood, the thing about motherhood is that it doesn't come with a manual, and that there are many, many mistakes that we make as parents. We're not even going to talk about making mistakes in relationships and picking the wrong guys to date and guys picking the wrong women to date. We're not even going to talk about that. We're going to talk about just from the parent perspective. I wish that there was a manual that I could open up that had options in it, where you ask the question, when do I discipline my child? Pick A, B, C, or D. Here's the index. Flip to that. When do I wean my child off of the bottle? A, B, C, D, or E. Flip to that index. But there is no manual for parenting. And so the thing that we learn is that we learn from other people, we learn from our parents if they're around, we learn from society, we learn from reading books, we learn from listening to people who have wisdom. Molly doesn't want to listen because her dad told her flat out, this isn't going to work out. But the mom was optimistic and has seen Molly probably go through, different men. Because, hey, she said about her own admission that she's got 2 different baby daddies. So, it's obvious that Molly's has had several, I'm trying to be nice on here because it's in the afternoon. So Olivia goes downstairs. She's upset about her mom. She doesn't want to talk about it anymore. The mom, for camera's sake, has to go downstairs and get Olivia. And Olivia comes back upstairs, and Olivia is in tears, and she's crying. And now she's forced to deal with these cameras in her face. So not only does she have to deal with the embarrassment of what her mom is doing, that her mom is yet again on television again, but this time she's not on television because she is running a store. She's on television because she's decided to get this guy who is 26 years old and Olivia is 17, and so 26 and 17 make 9 years apart. So he's old enough to be her brother, so he's her father brother. She has to deal with that embarrassment. She has to deal with the fact that he's coming into the household. She has to deal with the fact that TLC cameras are there. And if they're anything like other people have said, then they're feeding information and feeding suggestions of what to say and how to say it and all of that. And then yet and still, you say, Molly, that you put your children first. See, when everything started crashing with Luis, all of a sudden, your responsibility and your comment to him was that the only thing that I'm responsible for is taking care of my children, those same children that you didn't give a rat's ass about when it came to bringing the broke down a bartender. Thank you so much for the super chat. I can't see who that's from. Let me put my glasses on. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to, I'm tired about what you saying, but who's that from? Let me go back and see who that is. Thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you so much. So now, right now, Sarah, thank you. I so forgot to text you and tell you that I was coming on live, girl, because when I saw Molly's Instagram, I was like, oh no, that bitch didn't. So now here, Olivia has to deal with everybody in school meeting on air her father brother. Because Jesse's basically her uncle brother. Because he appears to act like a kid him damn self. So now she got 2 brothers in the house. An uncle brother and a father brother. And I don't know what to say Kinsley got. And Molly got the nerve to be on Instagram talking about somebody hating on her. So here we got Molly. So now, they decide that he comes in. She goes to work. She does what she do with the boo-boo and the boo-boo. And he's forced to be at home with her child. He's forced. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. So she, now she's sitting at home and she's forced to now, he's forced now to have to take care of her kids. The kid who has a mouth on her. Because one thing about Kinsley is she doesn't hesitate to say what she wants to say out of her mouth. She doesn't appear, I said she doesn't appear to have great social skills with adults. She says what she wants to say, when she wants to say it, and how she wants to say it. So now here you have Louise, who has been placed in a home as a caregiver while Molly goes out and does what she needs to do to take care of the house. Because remember, she married a broke bartender who probably didn't have any savings. He went to a jewelry store to buy her a ring that they were just like, you know what, you so broke, young, and I'm going to support you in going to the United States. Young, go ahead, take the ring and roll the hell up out of here, young. Just remember me when you get over there and you start collecting that paper. So now, here it is, you got, Molly now has 3 children because she is officially adopted Louise. When she brought him over here, she is officially adopted him. He's on a 10-year lease. 10-year lease. So, congratulations on your adoption. Biatch. Congratulations. I salute you. So, having said that, now we have Molly over here, and you know, she has this adopted child that, you know what I'm saying, everybody, you know, saving her life and everything, you know, making sure she's taking homeless people off the street and, you know, adopting little children. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. I don't have my glasses on, but Sarah, I know, will make sure that I get the names, and I will make sure that I shout you out. Thank you so much for the super chat. But y'all know y'all auntie is over here trying to keep herself calm and not get to screaming and stuff on here. Because Molly's story is a story that I don't want my nieces to go through or my nephews. Look, damn it. Don't go over somewhere and bring anything back but a souvenir. A human being, a child, is not a souvenir. A hat, a scarf, a keychain, maybe a vase, some kind of figurine, magnets for your refrigerator, stuff like that is a souvenir. A human being is not a souvenir. Leave that over there in the DR. You don't have to bring back everything that's moving and breathing. Now, if you go through customs, I don't know, maybe you can bring back a goldfish or 2. But look, damn it, don't bring back a human being as a souvenir. Number 2, don't bring back somebody that you got to take care of unless you go through the proper channels for adoption or foster care. There are many organizations in which you can choose to be able to donate to children to help them eat and help them sleep better at night. But you do not have to get into a 10-year bond, a 10-year agreement to help a child sleep easier at night. Number 3, you don't have to inconvenience your whole life, your children, for a person. Let me tell you something. When you lower your standards, this is what you get. When you feel like you have lived your life to pleasing others and doing for others and not taking care of yourself, this is what you do. Women and men, you have to balance your life out so that you don't feel like you have missed out on life. If your whole life is consumed with another person, be it a child, a dog, or whatever, you have got to get a life and catch a crowd. You have got to create an environment where your life is balanced. It can't be all work and all home. It has to be other things that are involved, especially if you are a career woman. Career women, listen to me. Yes, everybody wants success in life. Yes, you do want success. And it is okay to climb the corporate ladder. It is okay to break the corporate glass ceilings. It's okay. But you have got to make sure that you are doing something that helps you and balances you in the inside. That you keep your self-esteem, the way that you view your self-esteem. I esteem myself higher than my career. I esteem myself higher than my children. Because how can you give anything to your children if you don't esteem yourself? If you don't lift yourself up and build yourself up through meditation, through prayer, through taking a vacation, through going to get your nails done, to going out and playing basketball on the court, to sitting and bonding with the guys that you hang out with, to just having dinner with yourself, taking in something that helps you. If you don't esteem, going to the barbershop and getting your face shaved up and looking the way that you, if you don't esteem yourself, you will have very little to give to your children. I'm telling you from what I know. You have got to esteem yourself higher. That doesn't mean that you put you put everything on the low. It just means that it might just be like this is you and this is your children, like they right there almost equal. But you have got to take care of yourself, or you will find yourself like Molly, who appears to resent motherhood. Because how do you feel like you are finished with parenting and nurturing your children just because you want to bring a partner in? That partner should celebrate you, celebrate who you are, all of you, the fullness of who you are. But if you walk around in a DR and not conduct yourself like you are a parent, like you do have a life at home, like you are the businesswoman that you are, if you out there just loosey-goosey and doing all the stuff that you want to do, acting like you don't have any responsibilities at home, then of course that man is only going to see that woman that you present to him. So when he comes over here, there will be no expectation from him that you will be any different than you were at the DR. Let me tell you something. The person that you project to a person, you can't switch and change that person up. You have to stay consistent the same way. Now, it ain't nothing wrong with letting your hair down. It ain't nothing wrong with it's nothing wrong with all that. So I don't want y'all to get it twisted. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments, because I will make sure that I come back and I read all your comments if you have questions. It is nothing wrong with taking a vacation and letting your hair down and getting a little wild. But when you are talking about adding a companion and someone to your life like that, you have to be true to thine own self. Be true. You cannot have an imposter stand in place of who you are, because that's when you surrender everything that you are not. Then you give them what you're not. And then when they come back and they're expecting to collect off of the person that you have presented, now your ass can't pay up. Because let me tell you, whatever you present to the world, people are going to come back and expect you to pay up. They're going to come back to collect. And then you find yourself empty and lying one lie on top of a lie, 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 until you disappear. The true person, the authentic person that you really are, will not show up. And then when you show up, guess what happens? That person feels deceived. And that is what happened to Louise. I believe that Louise was attracted to her. He was attracted to the imposter that she left at the DR. He was attracted to the imposter who closed the door and got on the Skype and probably said and did all kinds of stuff contrary to the person that she was. Wherever I go, whatever I do, I represent and bring my daughter up front. And I may not say her name. You may not know that she's there, but I conduct myself as if I am a parent, because that is true and authentic to who I am. So I'm never going to show up on the scene and act like I'm some crazy single bitch who has no responsibility of taking care of anything at home. I am always going to show up as a parent. So certain things that I would do, certain places that I would go, I don't go anymore. And I don't do those things anymore because I have to represent her at home. I can't have things coming back and saying, I saw your mom doing this, or I saw this lady doing that, or I can't have that. I have to fully represent who I am. I can't fully come out and just act like, what is that? Right, okay. I saw half. I was like, wait a minute, why? Somebody called me a half. Is that Molly? You have to fully represent who you are. And no, you don't have to go out there and tell, some guy that you meet at the club or some girl that you meet at the club about your kids or anything like that. That's something that you'll talk about when you decide that you want to be serious about someone. But when you're going out there in life and society, you have to represent the fullness of who you are. And you know what? You need to embrace who you are. We have to learn how to embrace who we are. From the rooter to the cotton fruiter to tutor, from the crown of our head to the soles of our feet, we have to represent ourselves authentically so that when we show up in the world, we show up authentic. You know what you can say to me. You know what you can't say to me. You know the boundaries, and you don't know the boundaries. Molly didn't represent who she was because when she came back and she brought that man over here with her family, her children, her dad, her brother, her mom, every day represented. They showed him who she really was. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh. Your family, your friends, your surrounding, they'll show who you are. And that's what happened with Molly. When Molly sat down there with her dad and they came walking out on the farm, on the road again. I can't wait to get on. When they showed up, her dad showed him who she was. When Olivia was sitting there with her boyfriend, they showed Louise who she was. Kinsley showed Louise who she was. Olivia showed him who she was. Jess showed Louise who she was. Her mom, flying all over the world, doing what she do with the whoop-whoop and the boop-boop. She grown now, she can do what she want. But you know what? Your family, your friends, those people you around, they gonna show who you authentically are. And it ain't like they gonna be trying to shade you or throw you under the bus. They just gonna show who you are. So you need to be authentic and stand up in who you are, flaws and all. Because at the end of the day, we all have flaws. We have things about ourselves that we don't like. But you know what? You have to represent and stand up in who you are. And those things that you can correct those things. Those things you can't correct, you live and you embrace them. But you don't hide them. There's no way in the world that I would ever hide my child. She shows up in the room. She shows up in the room because she is a part of me and I am a part of her. So every time I show up, my precious loved one shows up with me. I show up in the room as an aunt. I am an aunt. So there's certain things that I can and I cannot do because I show up as an aunt. I have nieces and nephews, great nieces and great nephews who are looking at my life. And so even when I want to act 25 again, I can't. I'm a sister. I have to show up in the room because whatever I do reflects my family, whether I like it or not. And so when Molly showed up for Louise, she did not show up authentically. And when you do not show up authentically, and a person has to do the research to find out who you are, then you lose trust and respect. So when she wanted to sit down in the room to talk to Luis about something serious, there was no respect. He didn't honor it. He didn't honor it because this is the first time you want to talk about your kids. You didn't want to talk about your kids when I was slinging it. You didn't want to talk about your kids when we were laying on the beach. You didn't want to talk about your kids when you brought me over here. Matter of fact, you kept telling Olivia, it's going to be okay. I promise it's going to be okay. You can't make a promise for another human being's behavior. You cannot guarantee that he's not going to come out his box. Because you didn't come out your box. You didn't tell him he was going to have to be a nanny. You didn't even consider your daughter when you married him. If you were going to do something like that, you should have considered your family. So when Luis sat at the table and said, if me and the kids don't get along, will you still marry me? He already knew that y'all was already married. See, you put the wedding before the marriage. You put more value in the white dress. You put more value in the shiny shoes, in the caterer, in the vendor, in the sight of the wedding. You put more value in that instead of putting the value in the marriage. You knew that this man sat at the end of the table and told you how he felt and gave you his ass to kiss. Unfortunately, it was too late because guess what? You had already married him. So when he was at the bachelor party and he told Jess, I'm the man of this relationship, he was right on the money. He's the man in the relationship. Women and men, you've got to make sure, and I mean very, 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 very sure, that you know a person before you commit to marriage. I know there are many of you out here, male and female, who want to be married. But let me tell you something. You got to count the cost up. I would rather be by myself and be happy and live a fulfilled life than in a marriage for 1 second and be unfulfilled. There is nothing worse than being in a relationship with someone and feeling lonely and you're sitting right beside them. And oftentimes when people jump into relationships like that, that is how they feel, alone. Molly sat in the house after everything blew up in her damn face, crying for hours. My daughter made a statement and she said, Mom, this woman has cried in every room in the house. She said she didn't cry in the bathroom. She's crying in the kitchen. She's crying in the living room. She's crying in the baby's room. She cried downstairs. And every room of your house now is miserable with the pain of your mistake and your deceit. I never even thought about it until my daughter said it. You can't find peace in one room in your house. What is that? If you can't be happy by yourself or content with your life, you won't be happy or content with anyone else. That came from Sierra Scott. You're absolutely correct. And you know what the thing about it is? Her misery didn't have any company. It had pity. Everybody around her pitied her. It didn't even come with what she wanted it to come with. She couldn't find any consolation in anything, especially not even in her dad. Her dad said, damn it, I told you. And when the dad sat there and asked her if she made a good decision, if she felt like she made a good decision, she had the audacity to say yes. We got to be honest with ourselves. We can't be dishonest. You cannot be dishonest with yourself because you can't fool you. You can put you on the back burner and you can act like you don't see that stuff, but you can't be dishonest. You can't fool yourself. You're not going to be able to do it. Because when your real self shows up in the room, when your real self has an encounter with the mirror, when your real self lays down in bed at night, it's going to ask you to pay the bill. You cannot make mistakes in your life that cost your children a healthy mindset, a healthy spiritual set. You cannot make decisions to corrupt them and damage them before they even got a chance to go out into society. You think that this stuff isn't going to affect Kinsley? You think that the relationship that Marley has already had, the failed relationships that Olivia has watched for 17, probably 18 years now? Sometimes you have to sacrifice your own self, your own selfish wants, because it ain't a need, for the betterment of your children's mentality, their spiritual, emotional, and physical growth. I'm sorry, it is what it is. When you take on the responsibility of being a parent, you take on the responsibility of everything that they need in order to be healthy adults. There were many sacrifices that I made for my daughter. Many. And I can honestly say that there's nothing that I regret. I don't feel no ways tired. And there's nothing that I cannot do right now in my life. Nothing that I can't do. I can do whatever I want to do. I can travel. I can do all of that stuff. I could have did it with her, but my daughter was sick. You know, she was a sickly child. So there were a lot of things that I did not do. And let me tell you something. All those friends that invited me out to parties and I could not go for one reason or another. Some of them cut me off and some of them are still there. They were still there waiting with open arms to accept me when I could stay out late. Because you know what? I want to tuck my own baby in. Now, there were times when I didn't tuck my baby in, but for the most part, I wanted to tuck my own baby in. I have years to celebrate with you and party and do all of that kind of stuff, but right now I'm a mom. And see, and I had my daughter later than my friends had theirs. They were having their children in their 20s. I did not get pregnant with my daughter until I was 32 years old and 33. By then, I had been to every beach. I'd been to Bahamas and Florida and Mexico and Costa Rica, and I had done all of that because I lived my life. And so when I made a commitment to have my daughter, it was out of me. So if you don't have any children, live your damn life. Live your life. Because when you have children, unfortunately, and I know a lot of people don't tell you, it comes with major sacrifices. And now I'm able to say, you know what, I think I really am going to go head on and get myself that MCM bag that I've wanted. Having an MCM bag wasn't going to make or break me. My daughter not eating at night would make or break me. Molly has the best of both worlds. She has her own business, and she doesn't seem like she's wanting for anything but she's not showing up, to me, in my opinion, authentic in the room. And you look at someone like Nicole. I'm going to come out and do her damn story too for my single women. All the single ladies. All the single ladies. Okay. So we will be talking about her as well. So what do I want to leave with you? What would I have you to know about Molly? What would I want you to connect? What would I want you to stay away from? I would want you to stay away from any partner who doesn't authentically show up in the room. I would want you to go into every relationship being authentic and not having an imposter show up. I would want you to know how important it is to be true to yourself and to take care of yourself and to esteem yourself higher. There is nothing wrong with having good self-esteem or high self-esteem. There's nothing wrong with it. I would want you to know that you can't give anybody something that you yourself don't possess. You can't give someone true, authentic companionship with no strings attached if you can't give that to yourself. See, with yourself, you can't have strings on it either. You can't make yourself suffer or blackmail yourself. I would want you all to know that if a person is financially not where you are, I want you to know you're going to have challenges. I want you to know you're going to have some challenges. If you as a woman are willing to take care of a man and put on the pants in the household, go ahead with that. Because that ain't auntie. I enjoy a good pair of jeans, boo, and I enjoy a good pair of leggings. Trust and believe me, with my high heels on. You notice I said with my high heels on. Because I love and I embrace every part of being a woman. You all know some days I come out here, boo, and I have my wigs on and my makeup, and I will change my look in a heartbeat. Because there's nothing like being a woman. There's nothing wrong with us as situating, no, that's not the word I want to use. There's nothing wrong with being a feminine. There's nothing wrong with showing off your curves tastefully. There's nothing wrong with flirting. There's nothing wrong with dating and being in love and wanting to be in love. As long as there's nobody on the other end that's getting hurt or affected by what you do, like a child. When we have children, we have to make sure they show up in the room with us. We have to make sure that our lives are above board. And no, we don't tell our children everything. Trust me, we don't. I ain't stupid. We don't tell them everything. But we do have to be authentic. Because the last thing you want is for somebody else to tell your story. Like Molly's. Molly's family told her story. And I don't need my family members, friends, nieces, nephews, cousins. I don't need any of them to tell my story. I can tell my own damn story. And when you all see Auntie come out here week after week, I am authentically who you see. The only difference, the only thing that you don't see is the business side of me. I reserve that for work. But I am always 100% authentically me. And I hope that when I show up in the room that you see my daughter. and you see my family and friends. And I hope that I have represented them well. Yes, in 2018, Auntie is looking for love. I'm about to do me a little dating channel about here, okay? But I'm looking for companionship, but he got to come right. And let me tell you something. If you're young and you don't have any children, male or female, don't get into a relationship where you are monogamous and you just got this one boo that you're dating and you're putting all your eggs in that one basket. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, men and women. If you young, date multiple people. Now, I didn't say sex. Y'all didn't hear me say have sex. I'm saying date multiple people, because how do you know what you like? If you're 18, 19, 20, if you're at the age of 25 and you're dating 25 and below and you're dating one person, something the hell is wrong with you. Date multiple people so that you know what you like. You can't possibly know what you like at 19 in college. You can't possibly know that that's the one. You can't do it. Now, that works for some people. That's your upbringing. That's what you used to. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who are out there looking for companionship. Let me tell you something, honey. When you got all those players on the football field of life, you're going to always have a tackler. You're going to have to play offense and defense. You can't just play one side. When they got the ball, you got to do what you got to do. When you got the ball, you got to do what you got to do. There's always a wide receiver, there's a quarterback, and there's a tackler. There's somebody there that's going to make the way play the way straight for you to get into the end zone of your life. Don't sit out here and just date this one person and find yourself in this relationship going up and down, because you know what it teaches you? It teaches you to settle. And if you don't know that there's a guy that's around the corner who will be able to be the guy that you want, no, he's not going to be perfect. And no, she's not going to be perfect, because there's no perfect person. But don't lock your young ass into no relationship with nobody. Because then you know what you find yourself doing? Having repeated heartbreak like Molly. And if you don't have a baby, wait for marriage. It's hard out here. I know some people are doing it and they doing it well and they making it look glamorous, but ain't nothing easy about being a single parent. It's hard because you have to be both roles. You got to play both roles, and that it is hard. Molly, you went on your Instagram. You put up the thing and said, Molly, girl, you're in danger. So since you didn't give me credits, I gave myself credit. You say that everything is happening and you're fine with Luis. I hope so. I hope that your children are able to mentally, spiritually, and emotionally bounce back from the bullshit you put them through. I hope they are. I hope they're able to do that. But having said that, if you ever need somebody to talk to, I ain't your hater. You can learn a lot from a dummy. So I could be whatever you want me to be, but what I won't be is your hater. And I want to use your story to tell a story. So I hope that you and Luis, I hope y'all are happy. Because according to what I be hearing, y'all ain't that damn happy. It ain't that peachy keen. But that's all right, though, because I still got people with boots on the ground. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take an opportunity before I close this up to answer any questions. If you saying hi to Auntie, save that for later on. But what I'm going to do right now is if you have a question, I'm going to put my glasses on and I'm going to take time out to answer your dating questions. Any questions you have for me about dating, being a single mother, or anything. So what you want to do probably is hold it really quick. Just hold it real quick till I put my glasses on. And then I'm going to randomly pick them to answer your questions. Thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is Priya Patel at Patty Batty Wright. An unmarried woman is incomplete. I roll to the naysayers. How are you incomplete? Hold the front door. Wait a minute. I know God daggone well y'all ain't sitting out here on my damn channel talking about an unmarried woman is incomplete. How the hell are you incomplete? So when you came into this world, God brought you. Oh, she was being sarcastic. Okay, so I was about to read it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, because I was about to say, you didn't come in this world with the MF. You didn't come in this world with the mofo. You came in here complete with every goddamn thing you needed when you came up in here, okay? So let me tell you something. You ain't complete, honey. You whole without him. So when you get together, you got two whole people coming together. And it ain't no 50-50. I want 100% of who you are. I want 100% of everything you possess. Don't come to me with 50%. You got 50 for me and 50 for somebody else. Damn it, bring me 100% of yourself, because I'm going to authentically bring you 100% of who the hell I am. And I'm not going to hold nothing back. I'm not going to withdraw anything from you, okay? So don't be playing like that on Auntie damn channel, because you know I read somebody's ass up out here. Okay, so this is Yanni Barnes. What is she saying? She's saying, at Janet Jackson. Exactly. I couldn't handle committing myself for someone for life, only for them to play me. I will make you feel everything I feel. Okay, so you on that get back. Auntie, I think you have to go back to the earlier comments. LOL, don't go off, Auntie. Okay, thank you, the prissy peach. Okay, thank you, boo. I ain't gonna go off. I ain't gonna go off. So you said that there were some questions that were out there earlier. Okay, I have 3 children as a single mom and I don't date, period. I'm always told it's unhealthy, but when my marriage ended, I devoted myself to my children. Is that wrong? No, that is not wrong, but just make sure that you still leave your heart open. I understand you have 3 children. God bless you. Congratulations on your 3 little angels. And I thank God for blessing the fruit of your womb and for you just having those 3 babies. That's 3 lives that God has blessed you with. And anytime we have fruit out of our womb, that is absolutely a blessing from God. If you are not dating because you are hurt, then you need to do some healing. If you're not dating because you just your time is just completely tied into your children, then absolutely there's nothing wrong with it. But if you're doing it as a result of being hurt from a divorce, then what you need to do is heal yourself, because there will always be that part of you that will ultimately always spill out. Just maybe a drop or 2, it will spill out to your children. When we have hate, resentment, bitterness, unspoken strife and things like that, who is that, Sarah, that you having a block like that? Did you block them? Don't put them in timeout. Block them. Block them. Okay, you blocked them. Okay. Hi, Auntie. I'm 20 years old, and I have been with my boyfriend for 2 years. Things are good, and we don't want to get married anytime soon. But am I too young to be serious? That's from Tierra Renee. Damn right, 2 years and you don't want to be married. What the hell is you with? Okay, so okay, here's the thing, Tierra Renee. Okay, so you just answered your own question. You said we've been together for 2 years and we're not married, but you're in a committed relationship. So then how do you get the opportunity to know and to be able to see if this is really what you want? You're already in a committed married relationship. You've been with this guy for 2 years with no commitment. So here it is, I wish the hell I could go in Macy's or Bloomingdale or Saks Fifth Avenue and get stuff out of there for 2 years with no commitment. And I would go to them all the time. And so if it's okay, so let me use that same example. Bloomingdale's has told me that I can come into Bloomingdale for the next 2 years, make no commitment, no credit commitment, no money, nothing. I just strictly go into Bloomingdale for 2 years, and I just get anything that I want for free. Then I'm not going to go to other stores to see what they have. If the things in Bloomingdale are even the best things for me. It could be some of the things that I really need or that would really accentuate my body may be at a specialty shop. But because I'm just going into this one store and having all my needs met because there's no commitment and I don't have to spend money, I rob myself of the opportunity of possibly knowing what is out there. Now, if this is something, Tierra, that works for you and for your boyfriend and you don't, you want to be locked down in one relationship for 2 years, and that absolutely works for you, by all means, sweetie, stay in the relationship. But all I'm saying to you is if you don't have any commitment and he doesn't have any commitment, then I'm hoping that you don't have a problem with him seeing other people or you seeing other people. Because if I have no commitment to you and I don't want to be married and all I am to you is your boyfriend or your girlfriend, then I know that I would want the opportunity to see and date other people without any problems. If I don't come home on time, damn it, don't call me, because there's no commitment to me. There's nothing that's going to lock me into that relationship. But if it works for you, Tierra, and this is what the two of you all have made a decision to be faithful to one another for 2 years and not see other people, then you married. I'm just saying, you're already in a marriage without the benefits of being married. There are benefits that come along with being married, and so you're really robbing yourself of the benefit. Okay, so I hope I answered that. If I didn't, sweetie, please feel free to send me an email at my auntie's 2 cents Gmail account, and we can talk about it. But you're already in a marriage. You're in a committed relationship with somebody already, okay? Okay, so Mona R said, I think there is a point in most of our lives that we are bad at managing finances, but if we learn from our mistakes, our past behaviors shouldn't define us. That's true, except for when you're trying to go out and buy a house. Okay, Kayla Gomez said, Auntie, I'm 33. I was talking earlier about losing my 7-year-old daughter and my living 2-year-old daughter early. I'm not interested in dating ever again. Should I consider it in the future? Again, just make sure that you're healed. And you know what? I'm sorry to hear that you lost your 7-year-old child. I can't imagine. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for your loss. And you said that you don't want to date again, but I don't know how that relates to your child. I think that it probably would be better for you not to date right now, because if you are still grieving the loss of your child, which I'm sure you'll never stop grieving, but if the pain is still up front and still tangible, if you can still feel the pain, then I would suggest that you not date for a while, but I wouldn't suggest that you rule it completely out. I think that you would need to, make sure that you get healing and you talk to somebody who will be able to give you good sound counsel, especially in the area of grief for a child. And I can't even imagine your hurt. The only thing that I could do is pray for you, but I would suggest that you get with a group if you're not, and start getting some counseling in that particular area. And I'm praying for your 2-year-old baby as well, that that God will heal you to a place where the emotional hurt is not being transferred onto her. Sometimes when we are going through traumatic things, we sometimes, by no fault of our own, and not maliciously at all, we transfer that on to other people. So I'm just praying that you're able to be the mom to her that you should and you could be. My prayers out to you, sweetie. I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, that's heavy. That's very heavy. Gracie Mack, I've been with my hubby since we were 19 years old. My grandparents have been married since she was 14 and he was 20 years old, almost 75 years now. It can work if you make it work with love. That's true. But see, you have a pathology of that. And a lot of us don't have a pathology of seeing successful marriages that last long like that. But when you have that in your bloodline, it's very easy to repeat the same thing. But most of us come from a broken home or have seen infidelity in our homes, coming from divorce and stuff like that. So that's good, Gracie Mack. You and your husband seem happy anyway. Auntie, go back and read Donna's question. How far back is it? Donna. Okay, Auntie, someone said earlier someone said earlier that he kid's father was not paying child support because Molly wasn't responsible. Okay, wait a minute. Auntie, someone said earlier that the kid's father was not paying child support because Molly wasn't responsible. What do you think? I think that what did she say? Wait a minute, hold on, let me read this real quick. Wait a minute. Oh, I love you too, boo. I love you too, Kayla Gomez. I'm so happy that I was able to help you and assist you, baby. God bless you and your family. I think that child support is a case-by-case basis. I think that about her not being responsible, I don't know if he has a child support order in place. But if he has a child support order in place and she's not responsible, they ain't got a damn thing to do with what he got to be. Thank you for the super chat. I mean, if he got an order in place, pay your child support. But I think the child support is basically, it's an individual case by case basis, and I think each one is different. Just to tell a little bit of my story, when I was with my daughter's dad, we decided to mutually go and get an order in place that protected him and it protected me. And so, I think that when you are mature adults and you know what you want to do, that child support can work, and it's all basically for the child. And a lot of times, as women, we go out, like myself, I was a career woman. So when we went and had the child support and everything done, it wasn't a 50-50. Child support is never 50-50. And it is not all the time where the father is paying a whole lot of money. I didn't basically want anything from him. Our salaries were so different that the court made a decision about it. All I wanted was just part of child care. And I never went up. In all the years that I could have went up, I never asked for an increase in anything, because all we wanted to do was just to make sure that we had something that was in place. And he was a great dad, always saw his daughter, did not neglect to be a father to her, and that's all I really wanted. I was a custodial parent, and that's all he ever wanted. He wasn't trying to seek custody of her or make my life hard, and I wasn't trying to make his life hard. So I think that when you talk about child support, you can't generalize it. I know as a community of people, we like to generalize child support, but if he decided that he is not going to pay child support because she was irresponsible or not responsible, I think that that's up for the courts to decide, and not for him. And I think that if he doesn't have a child support order in place, it doesn't make a difference to me what the hell she's doing. He needs to take care of his child. Now, if he's one of those stand-up type of guys and he's always got Kinsley, because if anybody paying child support for Olivia, that's over, okay? But if he's a stand-up type of guy, pay your damn child support. Right, Yanni Barnes said, my mother never wanted anything from my father. Courts ordered him to pay $45 a week for me, and he never did. But my mother never held me against him. Same thing with my daughter. What advice do you have for men dating women with children and setting boundaries when the women do not leave that ass alone? If a woman, just like you saw with Molly, if a woman does not have boundaries around her children, and her children are not socially oh God, how can I say it? Leave that ass alone. The worst thing that you can do is go into some woman's life that has children and she doesn't have any boundaries in place, not only for her children, but for you and for her. Because at the end of the day, the first time you want to say something to those children or you want to discipline them, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And then, before you even do that, you need to make sure that everything is okay with the children's father, which is another thing that Luis ended up walking into. Kinsley told him flat out, I got a damn father, and so I don't need you to father me. So if you are in a relationship with a woman and she don't have boundaries around her children, or her children are socially unacceptable and they don't know how to, they don't have a good social, God, I can't even think of how to say it, but y'all know what I mean. Leave her alone. Like, seriously, leave her alone. Because all that's going to do is complicate the relationship. I mean, all booty ain't good booty. Let me just say it like that. So, move the hell on. I'm seriously, I'm being seriously. Yes, you can come. Yes, baby. I mean, when you're young, you're vulnerable. They take advantage of that in general. Men do change when married, but age affects us because we're vulnerable at a young age. Okay. I mean, when you're young, you're vulnerable. They take advantage of that in general. Men do change when married, but age affects us because we're vulnerable. I don't agree with that. I don't think that age changes anybody. I think that experiences does. And I think that your ability and your inability to listen to sound wisdom and sound advice, that's what changes you. Life experiences changes you. Being older, you see do you know how many people are still immature and living that same life? They 50 years old and still living like a 16-year-old child, irresponsible, creating babies and confusion and everything, living from pillar to post, living with their mom and their daddy, their sister, their cousin, men and women. So age doesn't have anything to do with maturing you. The experiences and the things that you take to grow yourself in that time period, yes, that does. Age doesn't do a daggone thing. That's just like the time on the clock. The time on the clock, if you lazy, you can sleep at 12 o'clock noon, or you can sleep at 12 o'clock midnight. Doesn't make a difference. So time, age, that doesn't change and mature anybody. Nobody at all. Like nobody. I'm 25 and I'm sure my 17-year-old cousin is more mature than I am. Okay. I think Kinsley was influenced by Olivia telling her to be not since... Okay, I think Kinsley was influenced by Olivia telling her not to be nice to Louis. She was listening to her big sister. We weren't in the household, and we were not in the household. And so for to make a broad statement like that, and to blame Olivia for Kinsley's disrespect, I totally disagree. And I respectfully disagree. I ain't mad at you, because when Kinsley was sitting in the car, Kinsley did not show good social skills in the car. She wanted to talk over top of her mother, and when she got in the house, the way that she was up in his face talking about say cheese and stuff like that, I think that she has not had social skills, and nobody has corrected her little ass and told her that you're gonna be a certain way with somebody and not. In addition to that, she has a daddy that appears to be active in her life, and we don't know what the daddy is saying. We don't know about aunts, cousins, or anything. And then two children know when they are being treated differently because someone is in the household. So we don't know how Kinsley is processing this. That's why I just I take offense to Molly sitting out there talking about somebody hating on her ass and somebody being jealous, when here it is, you talking about everything is good with my family. No, everything ain't good with your family. And I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't agree. I don't think it is, because how in the world you gonna flip that in less than a year? All that stuff we saw on television, how you gonna flip that? You can't flip that, because the thing about it is, what happens to children, they end up holding on to it. You understand what I'm saying? Some of them end up turning into sour sponges. That's why you see people who are adults and they misfits in society, because they've been affected, and then to not have a voice. And as soon as Kinsley, corrected him and told him, he switched towards her. So we don't know what has happened. She wanted to make sure that he knew that he was not her father. She wanted to make sure that he knew that she was not her father. And I believe the reason why TLC did not leave that on the cutting room floor and made sure that we saw that is because there was a pattern of that going on in the house. And I believe that TLC purposely put that out there so that we could see that had been an issue. This man is coming into the house. He's 26 years old. He's her brother father. And he's coming into the household and telling her, I'm your daddy. Bitch, you ain't my daddy. Not after 60 days, not after 90 days. You're not my daddy just because you married my mama. Now, I don't think Olivia had to do anything. Okay, Ashley English said Molly should have made sure Louise was on the same page with parenting and made sure he was ready for it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yanni Barnes said, right, how did you get mad at a 6-year-old for letting you know that you're not her father? Is she wrong? No, she ain't wrong. My daughter would have said the same thing too. Oh, thank you, Gentax. And you right about that, Red Clark. Red Clark said thank you. She had to tell Louise because her mama didn't, and she should have. You goddamn. No. You daggone Skippy. Somebody had to put the boundaries in. You should not have. Look, here's the thing. When Olivia was sitting up in there in the bedroom, and she was sitting up there in the bedroom with her mom, when her mom came to tell her that she had decided to marry this guy, she was more adult than her mother was. I noticed when they were getting their nails done, their pedicures and everything, and Molly got to talking and she was like, don't cry. It appears that this is something that she has seen over and over and over, behavior she's seen over repeatedly from her mother, that she's sick of seeing. And we can act like it doesn't exist all day long. We can point the finger and point blame all day long. But this girl checked her mother several times on that crying. Mom, I don't start that crying. Because you know what? She's probably making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. And she's sick of the mistakes and sick of the crying. If I was the type of person that cried all the time, I could see my daughter now and say, Mom, you always crying. Don't start that crying. And I always say out here on my channel that people cannot interpret tears. You have to communicate clearly what you want to say. Now, I can understand being hurt and grief stricken, but when you're just trying to communicate, your thoughts and everything, and then yes, sometimes you do get emotional, because I know I get emotional. So I'm not saying you can't always be emotional. I mean that you can't have emotion. I'm just saying, you have to know when to cry when trying to communicate. Right. Why you crying now? Okay. Exactly, Trina Carter. She said that's why Big Daddy said to hell with Molly, always on this foolishness. Absolutely. Absolutely, Bonnie Harmon. She said Molly needs parenting classes. Who was that? Malika Gilgil. She said, like Nicole making May call everyone dad, shaking my head. I'm glad Kinsley ain't raised to call everyone daddy. Absolutely. You daggone right, Trina Carter. She said, I believe Louise ain't this first man Molly moved in. Summer Wind. Oh, how pretty is that? She said, yes, I agree with you about Molly and Louise. Louise was pushing himself on her kids, and that takes time. He is very immature and acts like idiots. Exactly. Hi, Miss Michelle. Okay, Miss Michelle is out there thanking everybody. Were those the super chats, Miss Michelle, that I missed? Because I was... Janice Seller said, I still can't get over Brother Father. Auntie, my dad didn't introduce me to his wife until they were married when I was 16. He tried to say she was my mother. Tiara Renee. That's just... I ain't gonna go on your daddy. I ain't gonna go on your daddy. I ain't gonna go on your daddy. You ain't gonna get me to go on your daddy. But you're tempting me to go on your daddy. You're making me want to say something about your daddy. But I ain't gonna go on your daddy. Molly needs to pay attention when her kids don't like a man she's dating. Kids know sixth sense. That's absolutely true. Hi, Katie Kelko. There's a person I know met someone overseas, Auntie. And you know what, Auntie? I have been in a long distance relationship, Belgium, USA, for 1.5 years, and my partner wants to propose soon. He's 27 and I'm 24. Is that too soon? We were both committed to each other. We were both... No, that's not too soon. No, that's not too soon. If you know that that's who you want to marry and everything is copacetic and y'all are compatible and you feel like that's your soulmate, that is not too soon. Absolutely not. Go for it, boo. Send me an invitation to the wedding. And make sure you let me know when you get, when y'all have the formal proposal and stuff like that. No, that's not too soon. 1.5 years? No. I think, I got my 24-hour rule, but we'll talk about that a little later. Millie Fernandez said, I'm Dominican myself, and I have heard so many stories of hotel staff romancing tourists. Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. I can believe it. But Molly dad, he had already told her, okay, what is it? Kundale Cat said Molly's in love with the idea of falling in love. And she didn't see the fact that she gonna tell her daughter, I wanted to have the wedding because you wanted to be in the wedding. Olivia said, I ain't want to be in no damn wedding. I was warned by my travel agent. This is Mona R. She says, I was warned by my travel agent not to take a trip to DR alone because the men there were like predators. Damn. Auntie, there is a movie called skanky panky about a Dominican hotel worker romancing a tourist. I'll make sure I get my daughter to pull it up. Auntie Big Daddy is sick of Molly's absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Um, My husband is from the USA. I'm from Belgium, 5 years married, going strong. Good for you, Janice. I don't have nothing against foreigners. I don't have anything against anybody, and I'm gonna keep it all the way funky about it. Yes, she is. She's damaging her daughters. But anyway, y'all, I see that I have been out. I am related to Molly, and I'm sick of Day. Okay, Dre said I'm not related to Molly, and I'm sick of Molly's. Okay. Okay. Okay, Miss MX. I saw your comment. Well, y'all, I have been out here for quite a long time. I am going to go ahead on and wrap this up with you all. I do want to let you know that, of course, there are a couple of shows that I will be reviewing in the new year. But up until then, I will be coming out and we're going to be doing assessments on the different people and what we could take away from it, what we like and what we don't like. And I'm hoping that you all like this little session that I did with you all, because this is the kind of stuff I want to do anyway. I want to, give you advice and just help you in your day-to-day life, and be able to come out and answer questions and all of that kind of stuff. And then so the next person that we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing Sister Wives. I will be doing Seeking Sister Wives. And let me just put, a little disclaimer on there. I'll be doing the code, Yolanda. I will be doing the code. I will be doing Sister Wives, Seeking Sister Wives, unless it get raunchy. If it's raunchy, I will not be continuing to do it. I'm telling you right now. If TLC don't keep this stuff above board and this stuff gets all nasty and raunchy and I find myself being stressed out by looking at it, I will cut that crap off. I'm also going to be doing the other one. I think it's, what is it? I know the title of it. I'll be doing that one as well. I'm gonna come out and do a little short blip on the ones that I'm going to be doing. But I am going to be doing that show as well. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Is that okay? That's Miss Axe. Now I also have a whole bunch of Summer Wind. I will be doing something special for New Year's, but I won't be coming out here for New Year's. I'm actually going to be spending time with my family, my extended biological family. So I won't be able to come out here on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I may try that night, but I will be spending some extended time with my family. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But we're going to come out here and we're going to talk about Nicole. And thank you so much, Ollie Weiner. Thank you. No, Dawn, I am not gay. But what is gay? Do you mean gay happy? Do you mean homosexual? Do you mean transgender? Why don't you say what you really need to say? Okay, you banned them. I can't stand ignorant people. So ignorant. All right, love you all. Bye. Bye. Molly, thank you so much, Molly, for looking at the channel. Hope you learned something from here. Again, Molly, these was just my opinions. Love y'all. Y'all have a good day. Make sure y'all say bye to your cousins, because Auntie is out.